Good morning. Let's go vote early together. Before we leave the house, there's a few things that we need to know. We need to know where and when we can go vote. Not every polling place is open for early voting, so we need to find a location in our county that we're registered to vote in that is ready and open for early voting. So let's go find that. So while we're looking, what is in-person early voting? In-person early voting is a chance for people to go to the polls and vote on a machine in person before Election Day. This way, we can find a time that is more convenient or more accessible for us if we are busy or if we can't make it or if we don't have transportation on Election Day. This gives us 9 extra days to find a time and a place that we can get to vote ahead of time. So like I said, not every location is open for early voting. However, every county should have 3 to 10 locations that are open that you can go to vote early. So let's go see where you can find out where you can vote early. You're going to go find your county site at vote.nj.gov. That's vote.nj.gov. And it will list every county. You find the county that you are located in, and it will give you the addresses of places where you can go vote early. You do not need an appointment. You do not need to register ahead of time for early voting specifically. You need to be registered in that county to vote, and you need to make sure that your voting status is active. So you can even just Google early voting NJ and you'll get the correct page. You can scroll down until you see all of the counties in New Jersey listed, and you will simply just click on the county where you are registered to vote, which for me is Morris County. So I'm going to click on Morris County. I'm going to see all of the locations where I can go vote early. I'm going to pick the one that is most convenient for me. In-person voting hours are a little bit different than Election Day hours. To vote early in person, the hours are Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And on Sunday, it is 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So now that we have our location and our time, we know when and where we can go vote early. But before we leave the house, there's still a few more things we need to make sure we have or that we do before we go vote. If you are an active registered voter, you should have gotten a sample ballot in the mail. This is going to tell you all of the things that you can vote for at the polls. And it's a fantastic idea to research this first so you know who and what you're voting for. While this year is a big gubernatorial election, we are voting for a new governor in New Jersey. There's other things that you might be voting for in your county as well, like Board of Election, Sheriff, other things, other county seats. There could also be questions that you need to answer or vote on before you go. So I'm covering my information up at the top because I don't want to give that away, but it will say right at the top that this is a sample ballot. This is not a mail-in ballot. This is just so I know what I am voting on when I go to the polls, so I am prepared. I will note too that there's lots of information I am voting on instead of the governor. So I do have a public question that I need to answer, and I am voting on my local school district. Every county and municipality will be different, so that's why it's important to check your sample ballot so you know exactly what and who you're voting for. Some important things to note are that if it is your first time voting in person, you will need to bring ID with you. I have voted in person before. I have voted early before, so I do not need my ID. I will be bringing it with me just in case. It's always good to have it on you for other certain circumstances, but I do not need to show it in order to vote early voting in person. I need to make sure that I'm going to an early voting location in my county, because then I know that my information will be there for me to sign my name and show that I voted early. If I'm registered to vote by mail, I would have gotten my mail-in voting ballot in the mail that I can fill out and stick in the mailbox. But if I decide I want to go vote in person early instead, I can do that. I can either vote by mail by sticking my mail-in ballot in the mail, dropping it off at my municipality's vote box. We see those all over our county. You can stick them in any voting box that you see in your county, or I can go in person and vote on a machine. I cannot bring my filled out mail-in ballot and hand it in at an early voting location. They will not take that. So it is either sticking this in the mail, sticking it in the voting mail slots that are around my county, or I can go in person and vote on a machine, but I cannot do both. Okay, I know when I can go vote. I know where I can go vote. I have my ID on me if I need it. Now let's look at those rules you might not know until you get to the poll. They will not let me in if I am campaigning or electioneering. Governor Murphy signed a bill in July of 2025 that give municipalities the option of expanding their no electioneering zones from 100 feet to 200 feet surrounding the entrance of a polling location or a ballot drop box. And what that means is that I am not allowed to wear campaign apparel like buttons, badges, t-shirts. I'm not allowed to display posters or signs or hand out literature to people who are online to vote in that 100 to 200 foot buffer zone. So I am wearing a very plain sweatshirt. And it is close to Halloween, so I might put in some fun accessories in my hair just to celebrate the season. That is allowed. I can wear seasonal clips and shirts and clothes. I could wear Halloween clothes. However, as long as I am not wearing anything that can be considered electioneering or campaigning, then I'm good to go. So, looks like I'm ready to go, and I'm good to vote in person in this early voting period. So let's go. So one of the other rules of voting, and this is not just for early voting, this is for all in-person voting, is no videos inside of the polls. So I'll meet you back here when I'm done. All done. So I went in, signed electronically. They verified my information, and then I was able to go in to the voting machine and vote. And one of my favorite things, besides being able to exercise my right as a New Jersey and American citizen, is my sticker. So I get to show everybody that I participated in my right to vote. Thanks for coming along with me, and I hope to see you at the polls.